Create with Fran Sidney. Hello everyone, welcome to the show. This is Fran Sidney, I am your host, and today we are on episode 98. I'm so excited, almost 100. This is so special for me and hopefully for you. Now, in the past few episodes, we've been talking about making those videos, taking time really to take photography and video seriously, so you can add communication to what's going on in your life, maybe communicating with somebody, maybe selling something, maybe that's your business. You have to find clients through that. Maybe you want to talk to somebody. And one of the good things to talk about is how to make a video or a presentation that has emotion. Why do we want emotion? Because it is emotion that will make a video have greater success among those who are listening to you on social media. They will trigger an emotional response in the viewers because they're making them think. And I have here a few points to look for and to develop if you want. So stay tuned if you want to make your videos full of emotional content. So here we go, we have 6 points and I'm gonna start straight away. No time wasting with number 1. The first point that I want to suggest is that you tell the story of how you, or maybe a client or a person you know, maybe somebody famous, has overcome a challenge, has got better despite all the problems. So a person that has survived and is now thriving, whatever the topic is. That kind of story makes a video very, very personal, and it is a lot easier to connect with people who will then resonate and empathize with this kind of situation. I'm not going to tell you which situation, but let's say that, for example, you used to be overweight and you were a compulsive eater. And now you have overcome the kind of mindset you had, the issues you had, and you are helping others to lose the weight if they have been putting it on because of compulsive eating. So you talk about your story. It just sounds so good to know that it's possible to get better. So whatever resonates with your listeners, they will feel something. They will feel anger, sadness, elation, a sense of this is possible, this is good for me, and they will be inspired. So a story is always the number one thing that helps to make a video really good and interesting. And to add just a little bit comment to that, a story must have a beginning, a middle, and in the end. Otherwise, people get really confused. And let's go straight away to point number 2. And this is about the nostalgia, a sense of something that used to be here in society, in the world, in your life, and now it's gone. Something you're really missing, and it was so amazing. Maybe a person that you love so much that is gone. Maybe, I don't know, a nice habit that used to be in your family, a tradition that you used to love so much. Everybody loved that, but it's gone. Or maybe a cultural aspect in your life, in your country, in your region, that is gone. So anything that evokes something good that used to happen in the past, making people then long for this nice past period of time, it can be quite a hit for a video. So thinking that the past is better. Of course, this is not always true. And people are very critical of what's going on today, and we think, in the past things were a lot better. But sometimes you go back 20 years ago, 50 years ago, and you look at literature, and you will see the writers and articles in the normal newspapers. They will say things were a lot better. So they were getting worse and worse, or there is something about the older generation. So be careful that you don't end up in stereotypes. So good luck with that. A very, very easy way of making a video go viral and be viewed by lots of people, as you well know, is to present something that is cute, something that is affectionate. So anything cute like a kitten or a small puppy or a cute bird, anything like that will make people watch a video. Even if you're a little bit in a rush, they might spend those 2 minutes watching the video because there is something cute, it's something warming to your heart. And there will be tons of examples, and I think just how many people spend hours on Facebook and YouTube watching just cute videos of little rodents, maybe gerbils or maybe a little chipmunk, and they're just so heartwarming to watch. And I remember back in the 80s when I was in Italy, so maybe 30 years ago, right? There was an Italian company that made an advertising, and everybody remembered and loved that advertising. What was that? It was nothing about the product. It was all about being warm. And you could see this woman, and she was sitting at home in a very, very dark evening with a lot of rain. And she heard a little bit of scratching at the door. So she reached to the front door, opened the door, and she looked around. There was nothing. Then she looked on the floor and she found this really, really cute small kitten that was completely and absolutely soaked. And he was just standing there looking up as if he would say, please pick me up, look at me. So of course she picked it up, dried him up, and in the video you can see later you have this little kitten very cutely licking some warm milk, and there's a really nice music. And this video was so heartwarming, and I think it had a really magical effect on all those who were viewing it, and were really connected to the brand with this kind of homely kindness. And the thing is, they never talked about the product, which was biscuits and things like that. And for those who are curious, the brand was Mulino Bianco. And you can look it up. It's probably right there on YouTube. And it all makes me think. They never said, buy our biscuits, they are the best. No, they talked about a cat. But many years now after that, people are still remembering that kind of atmosphere. So remember to use cute and affectionate creatures around you if you want, and if it's okay with your brand to add that aspect. Point number 4 is to use humor. Of course, you have to be good in telling jokes or recounting a story, something that happened to you. Maybe you had a very embarrassing situation that you can safely share without putting anyone in danger. What is the lesson that you have learned? Is there something you can share? And so this type of content can make you quite vulnerable, but also a lot easier to connect with, because you come down to be a very human person that makes mistakes. And who likes perfect people? Nobody does. So it is good to be human and not to pretend that everything is perfect in our life. Quite the contrary. And so a video like that is more likely to be shared with family members if it's one of your family videos, or maybe if you're doing a video for a business purpose and it's so fun and it shows you being vulnerable, it might even go viral and maybe get you some clients, because people love to connect with or to a real person, a person that has problems. And so that's my point. Use humor when possible and they will work with you. And now to go to number 5. I want you to really think, once you have worked out what is the content, what is the story and everything else, I want you to really think about what kind of background music or effects you're going to use. Why? It's because music will affect how we perceive the visual content. So if you're playing sad music instead of happy music, you will completely change the interpretation of a message. And so you have to be very, very aware that this music will affect the mood, and therefore it can enhance your message, or it can completely flatten the meaning or confuse people. So be very careful of the music if you are using such. And if you're not using music, they will make the message very, very still, very, very calm. So that is also a way. Not using any music can have a completely different effect. Think about it, look around for videos that you like, see how they use music to design something really pleasant to listen to. Okay guys, so here we are, number 6. My suggestion is to talk about a big theme. something like loneliness, or character, or love. Something big, something that will make people think, talk, debate, react, and be drawn to the deeper message that you have there, which is not going to be thrown in front of your face. It's going to be a little bit different. It's a different type of message that gets there from a side door. How does that work? I can just give you an example. You watch television probably very often, and you watch commercials. Or if you don't now, you probably watch them from, when you were younger. Now you stopped watching them. But do you remember any of them? They will have big themes. For example, have a very famous John Lewis Christmas advert every year. Everybody watches it. Why? Because they're paying a really big agency to do it, and it's always a good, heartwarming story about maybe two penguins and what we're going to find and what's going to happen from Christmas. So people are looking forward to this story. They love it. So let's go to a very famous commercial from Gillette. They do blades for shaving, and it's usually a product made for men. And you would think a commercial from Gillette is going to show what? Blades and beds and skin and a man shaving all full of muscles and all, toned up. But instead, in this particular commercial, Gillette shows all those stereotypes about men being a little bit rude, or maybe touching others inappropriately, being aggressive, fighting, maybe the hooligans. And, I think they show the bad parts of some of the men that exist in the world. And it all becomes very noisy, and you see all these things, and men or boys will be boys, and all this bad stuff that sometimes people, it's a bit of a stereotype of a man being a bad thing to be around. And after that, the video changes and shows men that are acting more like heroes. They're helping others. They're stopping the fights instead of starting them. They're kind. One of them is holding his little daughter and is saying to her to repeat, "I am strong." So there are all these positive things. And the commercial ends by saying the best a man can get. And then there is a line says, and it's only by challenging ourselves to do more that we can get closer to your best. Now, I'm not going to debate whether this video is good for you or it's not good for you, because it was very controversial. There was a lot of debate, but that was the whole point. People were talking about it. And the important thing is that Gillette were not talking about shaving or blades or types of beds. They went far past the surface and they analyzed what it actually meant to be a man. They uses those blades, and the best man. So for the best man, you want the best blades for shaving. So there was quite a subtle way of getting there. And the viewers will remember these types of videos because they feel diverse emotions while watching them. Some will be very angry and upset, and some will be very happy. Some will have a warm sensation in their hearts that, I can do better. And some will just say, oh yeah, I forgot to buy my shaving blades. So what is in for you here is that you, by adding a big theme, you get a topic that can resonate with many more people. So try to incorporate that in one of your videos and see what happens. And this is it for today. So remember, number 1, tell the story of something amazing that you have overcome and that you're now doing, and that shows that things can be done, we can overcome. Number 2, talk about something that we used to have in the past that was so good and now no longer exists. For example, low price of fuel, right? Number 3, work on something cute, something affectionate, something lovely like kittens, and bring something in the video that people love viewing. Number 4, use humor. Number 5, choose very, very carefully a background music that will be like the movie, it's very, very good for you. And number 6, talk about a big theme like love, hate, war, something that will steer the hearts of people listening to you. I hope that this episode was useful for you. It's not a very long one, but it aims to be very, very useful, so you can just get out and do something about it and create the perfect video. So if you find that this episode has been useful, feel free to share it with anyone you know, and maybe you don't know, just share it, click share, write a review, because I really want to help you to get on doing those videos, having fun with them, and see them circulating so you can reach more people with your message, whatever that is. So thank you so much for being with me today, and I hope you have a great week, and I'll talk to you next time. Take care. Bye. You've listened to Create with Fran Sidney.